understand what must be done. In the beginning, there was light. Today, in the year 2001, we have come to realize we are, I said, we are taking over. We are taking over space. Can you feel that? We are taking over space. The universe is ours. We are taking over space. Can you feel that? We are taking over space. Space. We are taking over space. We are taking over space.
Okay, this is a video about the cool futuristic things that the aliens put in my scenarios in the altered states. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I think there's been more than just these things on this template, but yeah, recently it was just about, I don't know, not even 2 weeks ago, in this virtual reality kind of altered state they put me in, I was overlooking this. It was like longer than a limousine. Yeah, it was longer than a limousine, and it had lights all around the bottom of it, and it was almost like half airplane and half submarine, and then of course it had wheels on it. So it was like, it was all black, but it had a bunch of lights all around the bottom, and it was a lot wider. This is the best I could draw, but I didn't draw it, but I just added some things to this that I found on the internet. But yeah, it was more shaped like, it was more shaped like a limousine, except maybe a little more rounded at the front, but it was a lot wider than that picture. But yeah, so it was about as wide as a limousine, but it was longer than a limousine, and it was black. And well, anyway, so after I woke up, that's when I'm thinking, okay, these aliens, they keep putting these freaking futuristic things in my, you know, in these scenarios and stuff. So then I started thinking about all the other ones, and so I decided to do a video. But yeah, it was freaking gnarly. And then I actually walked to the door, on the left-hand side. I walked to the door, and then it was like trying to get into, and you know when you go down the aisle of an airplane, it's really narrow, and then you gotta get in your seat, and it's just really narrow and cramped. And that's what it was like. It was just 2 seats though, like 2 seats, and it was just really, really narrow when I was trying to get inside this limousine. But I mean, there was like lights all over it. It was really cool. I think there was lights around the top too. But yeah, I mean, it was awesome. It had wheels, and like I say, it was part UFO or part aircraft, part aquatic, and part land, because it kind of looked like a submarine as well, but it looked a little more like a limousine. But it was much longer than a limousine. And of course it was wider than what that picture looks like. But yeah, and that was just recently, about a week and a half ago. Yeah, and by the way, that song, I had that CD since like 2000 and, about 2001 actually. I guess it was the current CD when I bought it, and I kept thinking they were talking about black people, like we're taking over space, and it's a black voice. You can tell it's a black voice, but now I'm thinking, no, they're really what they're talking about are aliens, probably the reptilians. And funny how it's a black man saying that, because the reptilians and black people go hand in hand. And they know that, apparently. The interdimensional aliens. They know that. The reptilians. I'm sure the Greyz know it too. But anyway, okay. So that was just about a week and a half ago when they put this awesome futuristic limousine that was part aircraft and part land and part aquatic in my virtual reality scenario. And then it was about not long before that, hey, y'all, I'll just go in order from latest to most current to the least current. Okay, so then it was probably a couple months, maybe not even that long, maybe a month before that, I had this, the aliens created a virtual reality scenario for me, and it's like I was down there. You know, it was a duplicate of the road in my reality down the street there. In the scenario, it was a duplicate of that road. And I was on the road, and I was looking up, and there was this big, huge freaking, but it wasn't really a UFO because it wasn't unidentified, it was identified. That's why I'm calling it IFO. Yeah. And, but it was huge, and it was this complete globe. You know, like, this isn't a complete circle. But when I looked up, it was a complete globe. A complete round globe, and it was a freaking city. There was a whole mini city inside, and it was nothing but humans inside, though. I don't know if the aliens were just messing with my head, but yeah, I just knew somehow there was nothing but humans inside. Mainly men, and it seemed like I saw a couple of the men. But, yeah, it was like a whole freaking city inside, but it was, you know, it was like a UFO, except, well, it was an IFO. It was just it was a freaking city inside this IFO, basically, or UFO, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it was really cool, but like I say, the aliens can relay this they can program what you're supposed to believe and everything when you're in the scenarios, what you're supposed to think and stuff. And like I say, if they wanted me to think, okay, it was nothing but Greyz inside, then I would have said, okay, there was nothing but gray aliens inside. But no, they somehow programmed me to look up. It was freaking huge. It was just huge, and it was complete globe, circle globe that started floating, and it started moving up and up and up and up in the sky. And like I say, you could live on it. It was a complete, like, small city inside, and it was mainly humans. Mainly men. In that city or whatever. And, so anyway, it was kind of futuristic. And, yeah, so, I don't know. It could be, I've had like 3 or 4 virtual reality experiences where I thought, where if the humans are doing some of my virtual reality experiences, I pretty much know which ones they are. And like I say, I've only had about 3 or 4, which I think it's possible humans that gave me. But I know there's at least one virtual reality experience that they gave me. I know there's at least one, but about the other ones, I don't really know. It's just a possibility. And so they apparently know that the aliens have been doing this to me all my life. Yeah. So they know that, and they were just trying to tell me last March that they could do it too. But they don't do it very often if they do it. Like I say, there's only maybe 3 other questionable ones where it could have been some humans giving me a virtual reality experience. But like I say, the aliens, you know, sometimes they'll put aliens in my scenarios. Sometimes, most of the time, it'll just be like humans that they'll put in the scenarios. But the thing is, the whole energy of the scenario is different. That's how I know if it possibly could be human agents giving me some of these experiences. But like I said, I don't really know for sure. And I've only had about 3 or 4 of them. Because like I say, the whole energy is different compared to when the aliens do it. And they're a little different. The virtual reality experience, what the humans do, is a little different than all, you know, what the aliens do. And like I say, apparently they've been knowing that the aliens have been doing that to me and a bunch of other people. And like I say, the agents, human agents, can kind of, they know that about your brain, and I guess they can go off the alien implants and also give you virtual reality experiences. But like I say, they don't do it very often. Like, you know, there's a lot more aliens that have more time on their hands. You know what I'm saying? These humans, they don't have a lot of time on their hands. They like be screwing with people every day and morning and shit. But the aliens, man, when they get the urge, they'll give me a virtual reality awesome experience every day for 6-7 days straight. But yeah, so like I don't know if this UFO experience, you know, I don't know. It could have been the human agents giving me that experience. I don't know, but anyway, okay, so then about a year before that, they gave me this virtual, the aliens did, no, this wasn't humans, this was aliens. The reptilians gave me, or one reptilian gave me a virtual reality experience. That, you know, we were in Joplin, a town, me and my mom, and see, they've been doing that all my life, taking me to cities. Most of the time they tell me the exact city I'm in, or state, or country, or whatever. And I'm still having all these bits and pieces of all these, like, awesome virtual reality, you know, lucid experiences in the altered state. I'm having all these come back to me just day by day. Like this one and that one. And this is 20, 30, 40 years ago. I mean, it's amazing. Because like I say, they've been doing this all my life. And I'm sure they've been doing it to a lot of people. But if they don't wake up, they don't wake up. They're not just doing it to me. They're doing it to probably the whole world. That's what I believe. So anyway, they placed me in Joplin, Missouri. And me and my mom, and of course I have been there before. Not in many, many years. But me and my mom were sitting there at a vacant gas station. I'll make it kind of quick. A vacant gas station. And a black man came up, zooming around on a... See, the reptilians, they always put black people in my scenarios. Like, 9 times out of 10. This black person zoomed up on this waveboard, skateboard type of thing, which was totally of the future. I was staring at it. It was thicker and longer than this one. And it had a motor on it. I mean, it had this awesome motor on it. I don't know if that one has a little motor on it. But anyway, it was thicker and longer, and it had a motor. And I was just staring at it, and I was like, wow. And then he started just zipping around the parking lot. Like I say, this gas station was totally vacant. It was closed. And me and my mom were sitting there in lawn chairs. And like I say, this black man came up behind us, and he was probably about 30 maybe. And then see, the aliens know that I do have a couple skateboard type of things, a waveboard and a longboard. They know that. And so this black man started zipping around the parking lot. I mean, totally, like, perfectly. Like, he would just, like, come to a stop, you know, like, perfectly. He was just totally controlling it with his mind. He was controlling the motor with his mind to stop on a dime or whatever. Yeah, he was just zipping around, just, I mean, it was like so freaking cool, because you can't do that with the longboard or a waveboard. You can't just like instantly come to a stop like that. Just zip around and make it stop like that and be so precise. But yeah, so anyway, they put this futuristic longboard, skateboard type of thing in my scenario, in that virtual reality scenario to Joplin, Missouri. And then I went and walked. There was 2 virtual reality, oh no, I take that back. But they have put cars in my scenarios before, futuristic cars. So actually this scenario to Joplin, it had 3 futuristic things in it. So then I started walking to the edge of the street, the edge of where the sidewalk was, where the end of the parking lot, where the gas station was. And then I saw this man on this huge trike bike. I mean, it was like, the reptilians like to do very animated, funny things, comical things in my scenarios. Lots of times they will do very, very comical things. And it's hilarious. Okay, so anyway, there was a huge, huge trike bike that this guy, he was going the other direction. He was going right, just down the sidewalk. And this trike bike was like, I swear to God, it was like 7 feet tall. And he was just like, la 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 la. And then I looked, and actually it was, I would say it was yellow or whitish in color. But yeah, so then I looked ahead, and then I saw this like freaking futuristic type of vehicle on up the street. And all of these futuristic things was in that scenario to Joplin, Missouri. And so this is a futuristic car. I can't remember exactly how it looked, but it looked very, very, very futuristic and like no other car that's around. Pretty similar to this and then some. But yeah, so that experience had 3 futuristic things in it. But the recent one was the limousine that was part aquatic and part land and part airborne. It was really cool. And like I say, it was like just all black with all these lights. Oh yeah, and by the way, even when I opened the door and was trying to sit down in these narrow seats, there was lights that was kind of lit up all along the bottom of the floorboard and stuff. But it was really cool. Okay, so then recently, well actually I guess I didn't go from the most recent to the oldest scenario, but that's what I tried to do, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so just about a few days ago, I had this, see, it's really weird, like, I have virtual reality experiences, I have remote views sometimes, I have out-of-body experiences, which are also virtual reality experiences, and yeah, so then I have the, I have the virtual reality experiences, out-of-body experiences, remote views, and then I classify the other 2 categories as lucid dreams, but they're also virtual reality experiences. It's just a matter of, it's to the level of the matter of clarity some of them are, because all of my dreams are very intricate and detailed and clear. But not like to, so then I have to kind of make up a scale from like 0 to 5 when it comes to the dreams and lucid dreams, with 5 being the lucid dream, which is, it's totally like realistic, like almost like 3D realistic, except the atmosphere feels more utopia and a little more dreamy like. It's really weird. So that would be like number 5, which would equal like lucid dream. And then the four levels under that is just a matter of kind of lower clarity of the experience. So this experience, like the aliens have been lazy lately, man, because they need to change my implant out or something, because they've been lazy. They haven't been giving me like the awesome virtual reality experiences that they normally do very often. I mean, I've been having a couple, but not as many as I normally do. So they created this lucid experience in the altered state to Ohio. And yeah, so this time they took me to Ohio. Yeah, I don't know why they like doing that, but they like doing it. And like I say, I just had Ohio on the brain a couple days previous before they took me to Ohio in my altered state. But that still wasn't quite like, you know, it still wasn't quite virtual reality. I mean, when I was in the experience, it was still very, very clear, very intricate, and there was a couple virtual reality elements, but I would say on the level from 0 to 5, it would have had to been a 2 or a 3. Like 0 being a dream, all the way to 5 being a lucid dream. But like I say, all of my dreams are lucid. They're all very clear and intricate and blah, 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 blah. It's just a matter of clarity. The feeling of like the virtual reality, like almost like being in just 3D, like totally being there, like 3D. Except, like I said, except with the lucid dreams, the atmosphere feels more dreamy. It actually feels better than the virtual reality experiences, because a lot of those feel like 3D. And the lucid dreams are the best because, well, they're also out-of-body experiences, but the whole atmosphere, they somehow jack with it, and you feel like you're in utopia. And like I say, yeah. And I don't even know if dreamy is the right word, but it just feels like utopia. It feels different. It does not feel like a 3D atmosphere. Yeah, there may be a better word for using the word dreamy, but yeah, it totally feels awesome. Yeah, so, oh yeah, okay, so anyway, a few days ago, my trip to Ohio, they put this, and this part was kind of virtual reality in this experience. It had some parts that was virtual reality, because when I got into this futuristic elevator, it was like an egg, and I kept kind of falling back. I was trying to like, it just kept moving, kind of moving around and stuff. And I realized I was stuck in the elevator. And I remember I kept pressing buttons, but I couldn't get the door to open. And then I looked over to my left, and it was just a big gap. And I was like, okay, good, awesome, I can get out of this damn thing. But yeah, I would say that's going to be my next video, my trip to Ohio in the altered state. But like I say, I guess I'll call it, I don't know what I called it. I think I called it Lucid Dream with virtual reality elements. But from 0 to 5 on the lucid dream scale, it was like number 2 or 3. But like, yeah. So they put this like weird ass elevator in this scenario. But yeah, so listen to my next experience. I'll tell you more about it. But anyway, it was out of order. And this familiar woman looked at me. It was like glass. The front door was glass and it was see-through. And she was looking at me and she's like, well, didn't you know it was out of order? And then I looked back and it had some weird, this is the first time they put language that was kind of, didn't even make sense. That was kind of backwards and stuff in my scenarios. But I had this weird dyslexic language that said, yes, the elevator is out of order. But yeah, that was kind of virtual reality because I kept it kept moving around, like revolving. The egg shape, or the egg elevator, kept kind of moving, and I kept kind of moving around in the elevator, almost falling down and shit. And I don't like elevators anyway. The aliens know I don't like elevators, so that's why they put that scenario. That's why they put that in my scenario, because I don't really like elevators anyway. And I did kind of, I was kind of freaked out back in 2010 when I had to take this business trip. Yeah, I know that stupid elevator, man. I know it was about to break down. But I mean, I couldn't take the steps. I was too high. I think I was on like number 12 floor or something like that. And I kept getting in that damn elevator, and I know it just seemed like, it sounded like it was about to break down. But yeah, so that's probably why the aliens put the elevator in this scenario to Ohio. Yeah, so I'm trying to tell them to like take me to like an island or some kind of rainforest or something like that. But so far they haven't. But they've taken me to Florida, Africa, Romania, Joplin, this other small town, which I can't remember what it was now. I can't remember the name of it, but I never did do a video on that one. That was before I even realized they were giving me all these experiences. But yeah, they took me to Russia, Romania, England about 3 times, Florida, Joplin, Ohio. Let's see, where else have they taken me? There's been more. But yeah, there's been many more than what I can think of right now. And I have some of those videos posted on here. But yeah, it's a total blast, and I believe the aliens are creating everybody's, once they close their eyes and they go to sleep, any kind of dream they have, or whatever they want to call it, lucid dream, or whatever. The aliens are creating all this. And like I say, some government agents may be creating, some virtual reality type things as well. But, yeah, definitely the aliens for sure. People aren't having their own dreams, and if they would pay attention, you could clearly tell. And that's when you can start talking to them, and they'll answer you and do things in your scenarios, in your lucid dream scenarios and stuff. And virtual reality scenarios. Like one time I asked them, well, can you pop in a song? Because they started communicating to me by pop songs a couple years ago. And I was like, well, can you give me like a virtual reality type of, lucid dream or whatever, and then pop in a song in the middle of the scenario? And they did. It was just one of those normal pop songs, 1980s, and but that was still before I realized that they were creating all this shit and had been all my life. That was still before I realized that. But I knew, that they were creating, some of them for me, but I just didn't realize they were creating all of them for me and had been all my life at the time. But yeah, I just knew, when I became awakened to them, I knew they were giving me a lot of out-of-body experiences and stuff, but then I didn't realize that all those lucid dreams and shit to all these utopia places felt like freaking utopia. These experiences that they would give me in the altered state, I didn't know it at that time, a couple years ago. I didn't know that at the time that they were creating all that shit for me and had been all my life. And then like I say, there's more and more that just keep coming back by the day. All these bits and pieces of these freaking awesome. Like I said, the lucid dreams are also virtual reality. It's like you're freaking there in the experience. Except the atmosphere feels different than 3D. It's really weird. But anyway, yeah, so, they own your brain. The aliens totally own everybody's brain. And I believe everybody is implanted. So then, of course, they own your brain, pretty much. Okay, so I think I talked about all of them. Yeah, and I'm sure there's been more than just these 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 things. But like I say, right now I can't think of any other ones. But yeah, I can start asking them to put, more futuristic things in my scenarios, and they will. They do anything I ask them to. Thanks for listening.